So friends, today's story is built on a foundation of a terrifying extramarital affair. That's why I'm telling you right at the start, put on your headphones and kids, stay away from this video. Today's story shows an 80-year-old wealthy man marrying a stunningly beautiful 25-year-old girl. Although she married him for his money, she finds herself restless every night due to her physical needs. As a result, she begins sending signals to their house servant. One day, when her husband goes out of town for an urgent matter, she takes the opportunity to engage in an affair with the servant. After that, whenever they found the chance, they would get intimate. Eventually, a time comes when they grow tired of hiding. They then devise a terrifying plan, the kind that happens at the climax of almost every affair. But to find out their ultimate fate, keep watching the video until the very end. So, without wasting any more time, let's begin today's movie story. In the beginning of the movie, we see a guy named Sonny. He had come to the city looking for work. Sonny was a mechanic by profession. He knew how to fix any kind of car. Sonny goes to a garage, but after arriving, he learns that he is too late and someone else has already been hired. Consequently, Sonny wanders the streets looking for a job, but he can't find one anywhere. Being new to the city, Sonny had no home and no money to stay in a hotel. Eventually, he sits down by the side of the road out of exhaustion. After a while, he sees an elderly man walking down the street. Suddenly, a thief comes out of nowhere and attacks him. Seeing this, Sonny fights the thief and saves the old man's life. The police arrive and call the old man's wife. Sonny is completely stunned to see the wife. She was very young and beautiful. The old man's name was George and his wife's name was Larissa. George says, "This young man saved my life." George and Larissa then invite Sonny to dinner. Sonny comes to their house. After dinner, George learns that Sonny came here looking for work, but since someone else took the job, he had no choice but to live on the sidewalk. George tells him, "I have a garage, and I've been thinking about hiring a mechanic for a few days. You can stay there if you want." Sonny immediately agrees to work at the garage. The next day, George shows him the workshop and explains his duties. Sonny works diligently, knowing how hard he had to struggle to find this job. Meanwhile, George's wife begins sending him frequent signals. She watches him every chance she gets. Sonny notices this, and seeing such a beautiful woman, feelings begin to stir within him as well. In reality, Larissa was not happy with the elderly George at all. He did nothing with her and would fall asleep the moment he hit the bed every night. Larissa had married him solely for his money. Now, she desperately needed someone to satisfy her desires at any cost, and Sonny realized this. One night after dinner, Sonny goes to the kitchen to get ice for a drink. Larissa is there. He begins rubbing ice on various parts of her body. Larissa tells him not to put ice there, but Sonny ignores her and continues. Although Larissa was protesting, it was exactly what she wanted. Just then, George calls Sonny from inside, forcing him to stop everything and go to him. That night, Larissa couldn't stop thinking about what happened, and Sonny was in the exact same state. The next day, George goes to the city to buy a car part. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Larissa goes to the garage. Sonny's hands were covered in grease, but Larissa didn't care and initiated things. They engage in intense activity. Since it had been a long time for Larissa, they both indulged to their heart's content. Larissa is very happy because Sonny was well endowed. Anyway, George returns from the city a few hours later and gifts Larissa a car, as he possessed immense wealth. That night, the three of them are drinking together. Seizing the right moment, Sonny mixes a sleeping pill into George's drink. Shortly after consuming it, George falls fast asleep. Sonny then goes to Larissa's room, where she was already waiting for him. Without wasting time on talk, they start again. Sonny was so capable that the fire burning inside Larissa for so long was extinguished in an instant. They were both very happy, and Sonny gradually began to fall in love with her. One day, George informs Sonny that he plans to build a major project that will earn him millions. Hearing the plan, Sonny realizes just how much property and money the old man actually has. From then on, whenever they found an opportunity, they would engage in their activities. Old George remained completely unaware of their affair. Eventually, Larissa tells Sonny that if the old man dies, all the property will belong to them. Together, Sonny and Larissa hatch a plan to kill George. Sonny says, "I will send George under the car on the pretext of work, and that's when you will pull the lever. George will be crushed under the car and die, and the police will think it was just an accident." Their plan was absolutely perfect. The next day, as planned, Sunny tells George, "I can't loosen this nut under the tractor. Could you come and take a look?" When George goes under the tractor to check it, Larissa comes and pulls the lever. As a result, George is crushed under the tractor and dies instantly. In the process, one of Sunny's hands also gets pinned under it. Larissa rushes to help him, but Sunny tells her, "Stick to the plan and go shopping. I'm calling the police." Larissa leaves for shopping. A while later, she receives a call from the police informing her that her husband has passed away. Larissa returns home, wailing in grief. She cries so excessively that the police detective immediately suspects she is putting on an act. George is dead, and Sunny's injuries aren't severe. The two are overjoyed because the thorn in their side has been removed. Now they can engage in their activities whenever they please. Meanwhile, the detective is convinced they planned this murder together, but he has no evidence. The police keep them under surveillance day and night and eventually catch them in the act together. In the meantime, Larissa and Sunny begin working on George's big project. They are incredibly happy as everything is going exactly as they desired. One day, the detective summons Sunny and says, "That was no accident. Someone definitely pulled that lever. I know the two of you are behind this. Confess now, and I might be able to reduce your sentence." However, since the police still lacked proof, they couldn't make an arrest. When Larissa realizes the police are suspicious, she lies to Sunny, saying, "I'm pregnant and I don't want to go to jail. I don't want my child to be born or raised behind bars." Hearing the news of her pregnancy, Sunny is overjoyed and says, "You won't have to go to jail. I'll fix everything. I don't want my son growing up in prison either." Consequently, the next day, he goes to the police station and confesses to the murder. He claims, "I trapped Larissa in a web of love and killed George to get all his property." Larissa is innocent. She knew nothing about it. Based on this confession, the police arrest him and Sunny is sentenced to prison. He thinks to himself, "So what if I'm in jail? Larissa and my child are free. She will surely take care of my son." But Sunny didn't know that Larissa had lied to him. She had only feigned pregnancy so that Sunny would take the entire blame upon himself. Following this, Larissa becomes the sole owner of all of George's assets. She successfully launches George's dream project, and we see a glimpse of the future where the business is thriving and generating massive profits. On the other hand, we see Sunny in prison. Larissa frequently sends him photos of their child. Seeing the photos, Sunny feels a deep sense of happiness, unaware that the child isn't actually his, it belongs to someone else entirely. The movie ends with Larissa sitting in her office, managing her empire. In the final scene, we see Larissa receiving photos of the child from her assistant. It is here that the truth is revealed. The photos Larissa had been sending to Sunny in prison were not of her own child, but actually the child of this female assistant. Just then, a man appears beside Larissa. He is none other than the thief who had attacked George at the beginning of the movie. This reveals that Larissa had been plotting to kill George from the very start, using everyone as pawns in her game. And with that shocking twist, the story of the movie Obsession concludes. So friends, how did you like today's movie summary? Let me know in the comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.